What's going on, everybody? As you can obviously tell, we are in Virginia Beach. Here's the cock knuckle.
Hi. Hi there, Zachary. Hi, Zachary. Wave to the camera.
What's going on, guys? For some of you guys that are newer to the Yummian world, you guys probably have no idea what's going on, but I know a good amount of you have watched me for a good minute, so a lot of you guys already know what's going down, but as you guys know, I'm back in Virginia Beach for my meetup, and to see some of my family, my mom and dad, brother and sister, and grandma, and all the other peoples. Before I left to move to Atlanta, I did a dual vlog with my dad, as many of you guys remember. Who look cops?
With no gloves on either.
Those are the same looking douchebags that pulled me over way back.
Those are badass BMWs they're riding now.
Oh yeah, I know, they're fast as shit. You see, have you ever seen them maneuver them?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's stupid.
Yeah, they're sick.
Yeah, those are the same douchebags that look like that pulled me over like over a year ago. What's that?
It was on Diners, Dives, and Drive-Ins, or whatever it's called. And
really?
And ever since it's been on there, it's been packed. You can't even get in there.
Wow, I didn't know that was on that that website or that show. I have to go check it out one of these days. But so we're doing a dual vlog with my dad, and a lot of you guys really like the dual vlog. And to start this out, I know a lot of the comments are going to be, why don't you guys switch bikes?
No.
It's not so much the problem with my dad on my bike, but it's more of a problem with me on my dad's bike. I will eventually ride his bike and do that, but right now I don't feel confident as a rider to get on something that behemothly big. I don't want to risk it right now. It's just not something I want to do. So I know a lot of you guys are going to ask that question. So there's the answer is to that is we're not going to be switching bikes, at least not this year. Maybe next year. We'll see what happens, but definitely not this year. So don't look for that to happen. Even though it'd be hysterical because I'd look like a retard. It'd be like 175 pounds on this big ass machine with blue stuff on. So
The funny thing is, you think you weigh 135 pounds.
I said 175, dude.
I said 135.
No, if I weighed 135 pounds, I would like be anorexic. I wouldn't even eat. But so we're gonna do a little dual vlogage, and Dad, what did you want? You want to do the computer thing?
Yeah, that's cool.
All right. So as a lot of you guys know, I have a custom-built computer, and I also have a MacBook. My dad's a Mac guy. We'll go into details of that in a second, but he's a Mac guy. He's actually got one of the very first MacBooks that ever came out. Yeah, you have like the first gen or something like that.
It's the white one.
Yeah, it's like the all white one. There's no silver on it like they are today. But we had this argument the night before last night, and we had this argument, like he's looking into a PC and everything, and I told him not to just go buy one to let me know, so we can build one 10 times better for the same price. And we got into this argument that he doesn't like Windows, and because he likes what is it, Yosemite?
No, whatever the newest for OS is, I think it's Yosemite.
Yeah, he likes Mac so much, like the operating system on Mac, that he's willing to pay the extra almost $1,000 and lose out on the stuff he can get. So his argument was that he doesn't need an i7, or he doesn't need something that's like crazy good. But then my argument is, if you're gonna spend the money anyways, why not get something that's gonna last you longer, because you won't max it out. So Dad, what is your main argument in the fact that you're not going to use it, so why spend the same amount of money? What is your argument with that?
My biggest thing, like I told you last night, is
what a fucking douche.
one of the things I don't like, fucking asshole. One of the things I don't like I just don't like the Windows operating system. So I mean, I'm all about the i7 and the i5. That stuff is cool, and I absolutely agree that's better. I just don't like the Windows operating system. And now, before I had a Mac, well, who gives a shit? You know what I mean? That's what everybody uses, is Windows. But now that I've had a Mac, it's so much easier for me. And I stress the part for me, because it's what my personal preference is. I would have the better PC because, like I said, I probably should have at least one PC in the house anyway, so I don't have a problem buying it. I just don't particularly care for Windows. I use Windows at work, so I know how to use it, but I'm not super computer literate where I can go in and change all the settings and do all that other stuff. And that's kind of why I like the Mac, because it's a computer for dummies. You know what I mean?
Okay, so if the computer is already set up for you, okay, so let's do a little scenario. So you're gonna go in and let's say you want to buy a Mac, like the actual like Mac, the $2,000 like one screen and all, like it comes with all the shit and everything. You're gonna go and spend that on the Mac. So you're saying that for 10 times better specs, you wouldn't want to spend the same money because you'd rather spend the $1,000 plus losing out on the better like equipment just for the OS.
Well, when you frame the question that way, then obviously it would be very douchey for me to say yes, I'd rather spend more money for less product.
That's my argument. It's like I had a Mac too, and I needed PC. That's why I got a Mac when I got a Mac, and I loved it. But I never had a built PC and looked at the actual internal differences. I understand what you came from with the OS and everything like that, but like the internal differences, the hard drive, and even if you're not a video editor, just the hard drive, and have it run on a different hard drive, like a solid state, and then on top of that, having a processor that will last you like 15 plus years simply because you wouldn't use it. So you're saying like if you got an i7, I understand you do not need an i7. Like you don't do enough stuff to need even probably an i5. But if you got an i7 for the same exact price you're paying for a Mac, it would last you that many more years simply because you wouldn't be maxing it out. That's like my whole, if you want a computer that's going to last you a long time, and then plus, yeah, it's great that the Macs, one of the main reasons I got a Mac was because of, the 5% of population, doesn't have a Mac. So what the hell is security or like virus protection on a Mac? You don't need it. Like, you don't need it at all. But I don't know. I just think the interchangeable parts and the benefits of having a built computer overlap, like going out and buying a PC on its own. So, I mean, I guess if you really want the operating system, you buy a Mac. It is what it is. But if you're going out and not going to get a Mac, and you're looking at like a Dell PC or something like that, that is no reason, because you're going to have Windows already. So basically my question is, if you didn't get a Mac, Dad, like if you're not going to look to get like a big Mac, a Mac Daddy thing, would you get a built computer instead of going out and getting like a Dell?
Yes, and I'll tell you why I changed my mind on that. And it's when we were talking about it last night, and I was going through and you were showing me kind of how you did yours. One of the really cool things about the built computer, for the same amount of money, is you have two hard drives. So you have one hard drive that runs Windows, and that's all it's responsible for is that. And then your other hard drive where you save all your crap. And that in and of itself would make it run faster, and probably be more enjoyable. So yes, the answer is yes. If I, when I go to get another one, if we decide to get a PC, I would rather build one for the same money, simply because of the dual hard drive. And most of the ones you buy, you can't get dual hard drives in. So I would rather have the dual hard drive because it actually makes it a little bit easier to use.
Yeah, and then on top of that, I didn't mention last night is you can have the solid state drive, which a solid state drive already makes the computer run faster instead of running it off a hard drive. So not only that can you do, but on top of that, in my PC build right now, in my computer, I have 5 hard drive slots. So in all no shits and giggles, if I really wanted to, I could buy 5 1TB drives and have them in my computer, and I could go to each one and save whatever I wanted on each one. So let's say you end up doing some work stuff on your PC at home when you get it. Let's say you don't want, Brooke and Scott go on it for like Microsoft Word or whatever. You don't want them touching your hard drive, so you can lock your hard drive to where only the person that can save shit on your hard drive and work off your hard drive is you, because you have a different bay for it. And like I guess a person that runs on it, they work off the normal 1TB hard drive. But having the selection and being able to take out a hard drive, or let's say your computer crashes, you lost everything. Somehow your processor completely, it happens, whatever, it completely crashes. When you have that hard drive, you can just unscrew the lid and pull out the hard drive like as if it was like a USB.
Yeah.
And that's what I like so much about PCs, like built PCs, is it's so easy just to be like, oh man, okay, let me take this out, and there's all your data.
Yeah, I'm with it. Yeah, I would definitely get a built one if we're going to buy one, simply because of the dual hard drive. I really do like that, so that would probably help it to run a lot better, a lot more efficient. So.
Yeah, and it would never, you know how like your computer now, it's like slow as shit, and just because it's an old computer.
Yeah, yeah.
That's because like all the files and all the downloaded stuff, all that stuff is on one guy, and your computer is never going to slow down if you have it on a solid state. And literally don't touch the solid state. Have the solid state there for principle, just there for the OS, and it literally will just run off the operating system. And other than that, you don't save shit on that thing. You don't touch it, and then it becomes just a solid state that its main job. And like I tell you guys, I think I've said it before in one of my videos explaining my computer is, you know, I have a 240 gigabyte solid state, which is pretty big, and I literally just have Windows running on it, but I also, because I stream, I have H1Z1 and Minecraft running on the solid state as well. So when I'm streaming, OBS and stuff is on my actual hard drive, but I'm playing off of my solid state, so my computer isn't nearly working as hard. But I can tell you guys, at the highest settings, at 3000 bit rate on OBS, I can stream, and my computer usage is about 35%, which is ridiculous to be playing a full screen game and streaming it and watching my own stream on the same two monitors. 35% usage. Most people are sitting there like 91, 92%, and their computer literally cannot do anymore. So I don't know, it's just, I never would have thought this way until I got a built computer. I was always too stubborn. I was always like, nah, you know, fuck it, I don't want to build a computer, you know, I can just get a Mac and call it a day. And that's what I did, you know, when I got my MacBook. But I don't know, my kind of question to you guys is, why did you end up getting a Mac instead of a PC? And or why did you end up getting a PC instead of a Mac? And what would your next choice, like, has your computer now that you have made you think about getting, you know, a Mac? Or do you have a Mac now that's made you think you should try out a build? Like, why would you do that? And I guess it'd be cool to hear your guys' specs. If you guys have a built computer, I'd love to see the specs down in the comments. And on top of that, like, I'm not too familiar. I am a little bit, but with like the Mac Daddy things, man, the big ass screen Macs, I'm not really sure what the specs are in those. I have never like researched them. So if you guys have one of those, I'm totally down to hear, you know, what specs is with that.